Once upon a time, there lived a humble fisherman who lived in a faraway land named KOFI. KOFI was a very poor fisherman. He lived with his aged mother in a small hut, and he was friends with everyone in his community. Each day, he would cast his net into the water, hoping to catch enough fish to feed himself and his aging mother. Yet, day after day, his catch was small, barely enough to sustain him and his old mother. One fateful morning, as the sun rose and painted the sky in hues of gold, KOFI set out to the river as usual. On his way he met women returning from fetching water from the stream. He greeted them and proceeded on his journey. When he got to the river, he saw some other fishermen who had come to check their fish traps. KOFI went to check his own trap, as well, hoping to get a big catch. Unfortunately, that was not the case. He felt very disappointed, but did not allow himself to be discouraged. Trying to see if he would be able to get any more catch, he spread his net into the waters once more. As he pulled on his net, he felt a peculiar tug on it. When he pulled it up, he was astonished to find a magnificent fish with shimmering scales that glinted like jewels. He removed the fish from his net hook, his mind battling with the thought of whether to let it go, as it was really too small, or taking it home with him for dinner. KOFI said to himself, "It is just a tiny little fish. What could I possibly do with this tiny fish?" he asked himself. At that very moment, he thought to himself again that it would be better if he appreciated the little he had gotten. KOFI put the little fish into his fishing basket, walked to his canoe and kept it. The other fishermen complained bitterly, as well, about their predicament of not catching any fish for the day. One fisherman shouted out in frustration, "It seems all the fishes have gone on a journey under the waters." KOFI tried a few more times to see if he would still be able to get some more fishes. On not being able to get any, he decided to go home with the little fish he had gotten earlier. As he rowed on his canoe, few steps from the river bank, he had a little sweet melodious voice saying, "Please, put me back into the river, handsome kind man. Don't take me home. Spare me and I will grant you 3 wishes." KOFI looked around and did not see anyone. He wondered where the voice could have come from. As he proceeded on his journey, the same little voice spoke again, louder this time, "Please put me back into the river, handsome kind fisherman. Don't take me home with you to kill me. If you allow me to go, I will grant you 3 wishes." It was then it dawned on KOFI that it was the fish talking. He looked into his basket and the fish continued, "I am the little princess fish of the great river. I came up to this part of the river to receive sunshine. Please, handsome kind fisherman, release me back into the river, and I shall grant you 3 wishes," said the little fish, revealing itself to be a princess enchanted by a powerful spell. "As many wishes as you want, even if it's more than 3 wishes, handsome kind fisherman." KOFI, filled with both awe and disbelief, replied the little princess fish, saying, "Little princess fish, I do not have any wish. Me and my aged mother are fine as we are. But I will let you go, little princess fish." After those words, KOFI let the princess fish back into the river, and the princess fish swam away in happiness. The little princess fish still saying in excitement, as it swam away, "Thank you, handsome kind man. Whenever you need anything, please come back to this side of the river. Same place, same time, any day, and call on me and I will be here to grant your wishes, no matter how many they are." The princess fish then disappeared into the cold waters. KOFI made his way back home, and on getting home he told his mother all that had happened between him and the little fish. The mother, in excitement, immediately told him to go back the following morning to go ask for his first wish, which is for the little fish to give them enough food to sustain him and his mother for the year. KOFI, on getting to the riverside the following morning, called out to the little princess fish, "Little princess fish, I am here to make a request." The princess fish appeared. "What is your first wish, handsome kind fisherman man? I want you to give us enough food that will last us for the year," KOFI replied. The princess fish told KOFI, "Go home. In an instant, his humble home was filled with baskets of fish, fruits, and grains. Overjoyed, KOFI rushed home, and his mother was equally amazed. "Imagine, KOFI. We could be rich," the mother exclaimed, eyes wide with wonder. Yet, even with their newfound abundance, KOFI remained cautious. He was content with their comfortable life, but his mother, driven by greed, urged him to return to the fish for more. "Go back and ask for riches, KOFI," she insisted daily, her nagging growing louder and more relentless. Reluctantly, KOFI agreed and approached the river once more. The princess fish, sensing his return, welcomed him warmly. "What is your wish?" it asked. "Riches, for my mother," KOFI replied, feeling uneasy. With a wave of its fin, the fish granted KOFI immense wealth, gold, fine clothes, and a grand house. KOFI returned home, his mother ecstatic. Yet, even with their newfound luxury, she was never satisfied. "Go back to the fish, KOFI. We need more," she urged, her eyes glimmering with greed. Day after day, she pressured him until he finally succumbed, returning to the river time and again to ask for more. Eventually, his mother's greed grew insatiable. "I want power beyond compare," she declared one evening. KOFI's heart sank at her request. "But mother, we have enough," he pleaded, but she would not listen. Desperate, KOFI returned to the fish one last time. "I wish for power," he said, though his heart was heavy. The princess fish's expression darkened. "Greed is a dangerous path," she warned, but KOFI, influenced by his mother's desires, insisted. The fish granted the wish, but with a heavy heart. In an instant, all their riches vanished, leaving KOFI with nothing but the memory of what they had once possessed. His mother fell ill soon after, consumed by her insatiable desires and the burden of loss. She became a shadow of her former self, unable to find contentment even in her suffering. KOFI, though no longer rich, continued to fish daily, catching just enough to sustain them. He cared for his mother as best he could, his heart filled with regret for the wishes he had granted. Days turned into months, and while he was not wealthy anymore, he learned to appreciate the simple joys of life, the beauty of the river, the laughter of the villagers, and the warmth of a shared meal. Yet, his mother's unyielding desire for more lingered in the air like an unanswered question. KOFI often wondered if he would ever be free from the weight of those wishes, or if the river held secrets yet untold. And so, the story of KOFI and the princess fish continued, each day unfolding with new lessons and unspoken hopes, waiting for a turning point that had yet to come. As the seasons changed, KOFI continued to fish, gradually finding solace in the rhythm of the river. He learned to appreciate the songs of the birds and the whispering breeze, yet the shadow of his mother's unfulfilled desires loomed heavily over their modest home. One morning, as the mist danced over the water, KOFI noticed something unusual. The river shimmered in vibrant colors, unlike anything he had seen before. Intrigued, he approached the bank and heard a gentle voice call out to him from the depths. "KOFI, handsome kind fisherman, do you seek wisdom?" It was the princess fish, gliding gracefully through the water, her presence both calming and majestic. "Yes, I have much on my mind," KOFI replied, his heart racing. "I wish to understand why my mother's greed has brought us so much sorrow." The princess fish swam closer, her scales glimmering like 1,000 stars. Greed can blind even the kindest of hearts. It leads to dissatisfaction and a thirst that cannot be quenched. But remember, true wealth lies not in gold or power, but in love, kindness, and gratitude. KOFI listened intently, realizing the truth in her words. "I understand, but how can I help my mother find peace?" Invite her to the river with an open heart. Help her see the beauty around her. Sometimes, the simplest things can heal the deepest wounds, the fish advised before slipping back beneath the surface. With renewed hope, Kofi hurried home. He found his mother sitting by the fire, her face pale and weary. "Mother," he said gently, "let us visit the river together. There is beauty there that might lift your spirit." Reluctantly, she agreed, and they walked side by side to the riverbank. As they reached the water's edge, Kofi pointed out the vibrant colors of the fish swimming beneath the surface and the golden reflections of the sun. "Look, Mother. The river is alive with wonder," he exclaimed, his eyes shining with excitement. But she merely sighed, still haunted by her lost desires. "Why should I care for beauty when we have lost everything?" she murmured. Kofi took a deep breath, determined to help her see. "Let us throw in a small offering, like a thank you to the river for what we once had," he suggested, taking a handful of grains from his pocket. He sprinkled them into the water and watched as the fish swarmed joyfully around the offering. To his surprise, the princess fish emerged once again, gliding gracefully to the surface. "Thank you, Kofi, for your kindness. You have shown that even in loss, there is beauty in gratitude." His mother's eyes widened in disbelief as the fish continued. "Though your riches are gone, your heart is rich with love. If you wish, I can restore some of what was lost, but only if you both promise to cherish it wisely." Kofi looked at his mother, who was now captivated by the scene before her. "What do you say, Mother? Can we be wise with what we have?" he asked, hope blooming within him. For a moment, she hesitated, her heart wrestling with the memories of greed. Then, looking into Kofi's earnest eyes, she nodded slowly. "Yes, I promise." The fish swirled around them, and with a flick of her tail, she granted Kofi and his mother enough to live comfortably, but not in excess. Their modest home was filled with warmth and laughter once more, as they learned to share and appreciate what they had. As the days passed, Kofi's mother began to heal, her heart gradually lightening. They spent time by the river, watching the fish and listening to the stories of the villagers, finding joy in their simple lives. But deep within, Kofi knew that their journey was not yet over. The princess fish had given them a second chance, but he felt the weight of the past still lingering. What more lessons would the river reveal? What other gifts awaited them if they continued to seek wisdom and live with gratitude? As the days turned into weeks, Kofi and his mother embraced their new life. With their modest wealth, they helped their neighbors, sharing food and offering support to those in need. The villagers admired Kofi's kindness and often praised him for his generosity, which brought warmth to his heart. Yet, a part of Kofi remained restless. He often found himself sitting by the riverbank, pondering about the princess fish and the lessons she had shared. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple, he felt a familiar presence in the water. "Princess Fish," he called softly, hoping she would appear. To his delight, she emerged, her scales sparkling in the fading light. "Kofi, brave and kind-hearted, what brings you here at this hour?" "I wish to understand how to live wisely," he confessed. "I fear that even with this new fortune, I may forget the lessons of gratitude." The fish smiled knowingly. "Wisdom comes from experience, Kofi. Continue to share what you have, and remember that each act of kindness enriches the spirit. But know this, life has a way of testing our resolve." With her words echoing in his mind, Kofi returned home, determined to continue living with purpose. Days passed, and they found joy in their routine, fishing, helping their neighbors, and enjoying simple pleasures. One evening, a neighbor named Abina, who had always envied Kofi's kindness, approached him. "Kofi, how can you be satisfied with such a modest fortune? You should seek more. There are treasures in the hills that could make you a king." Kofi paused, remembering the lessons of the princess fish. "Abina, true wealth is not measured in gold, but in the love and respect we earn from our community." She scoffed, dismissing his words. "You're wasting your potential. Don't you want to be great?" Kofi felt the weight of her words, but stood firm. "I am content with what I have, and I choose to share it with others." Abina's envy grew, and she devised a plan to tempt Kofi. The next day, she returned with tales of a hidden cave in the hills filled with riches beyond imagination. "I've seen it with my own eyes, Kofi. If you want true wealth, you must go," she urged. For days, Kofi wrestled with the idea, and despite his better judgment, his curiosity got the better of him. One morning, he decided to explore the hills, leaving his mother behind. He hoped to find the cave, but also feared the temptation it might bring. After a long trek, he discovered the cave entrance, dark and foreboding. Inside, glimmers of gold caught his eye. Yet, as he ventured deeper, he felt a strange unease wash over him. The walls shimmered with treasure, but the air was heavy with silence, almost as if the cave held secrets best left undisturbed. Just as he was about to fill his pockets, he remembered the Princess Fish's warning about greed. His heart raced as he recalled how his mother's desires had led to their earlier downfall. "No," he whispered to himself, stepping back. "I will not be swayed." He turned to leave, but as he reached the entrance, he heard a low growl. Shadows shifted, and from the depths of the cave emerged a large, menacing ancient and powerful figure. "Foolish mortal," the menacing ancient powerful figure boomed. "You seek riches, but do not understand their price. True wealth comes from within, not from greed." Kofi, trembling but resolute, spoke with courage. "I came here seeking treasures, but I understand now that I do not need them. I have everything I want in my heart. I choose gratitude and kindness over greed." The guardian studied him for a moment, and then a faint smile broke across its face. "You have passed the test, Kofi. The true treasure lies not in gold, but in your heart. Return to your village and continue to share your blessings." With that, the figure faded, leaving Kofi alone in the cave. Heart racing, he hurried back home, feeling lighter than he had in days. He shared his experience with his mother, who listened in awe, and together they reaffirmed their commitment to live simply and generously. Yet, Abina's envy lingered, and Kofi sensed she would not easily let go of her ambition. He knew that their journey was far from over, and the river still held mysteries yet to unfold. As Kofi settled back into his routine, the peace he found was abruptly shaken. Abina, unable to bear Kofi's growing reputation for wisdom and kindness, devised a more sinister plan. She sought out dark forces, promising them a way to reclaim her lost status and riches in exchange for stirring trouble in Kofi's life. One night, a fierce storm erupted, shaking the village and flooding the riverbanks. In the chaos, Kofi's mother fell ill, her condition worsening as the rain poured down. Abina seized the opportunity, spreading rumors that Kofi had angered the spirits of the river by refusing to seek more wealth. She claimed that only a grand offering could appease them and restore balance. Desperate and fearing for his mother, Kofi felt a surge of doubt. He remembered the Princess Fish's warning, but was torn by the urgency of the situation. In a moment of vulnerability, he decided to seek out the Princess Fish once more, hoping to find a solution. That evening, as the rain subsided and the moon shone brightly, Kofi approached the river. "Princess Fish," he called, voice trembling, "I need your guidance. My mother is ill, and the village believes I have brought misfortune upon us." The fish emerged from the depths, her eyes reflecting both wisdom and concern. "Kofi, do not let fear cloud your heart. You must not make offerings out of greed or desperation. Instead, find the strength within yourself and your community." Kofi nodded, feeling a flicker of hope. "But what can I do?" "Gather the villagers," she instructed. "Let them see the truth of your heart. Together, you can bring healing to your mother and restore harmony." With renewed determination, KOFI rushed back to the village. He called a gathering, sharing his journey and the importance of unity and kindness. "It is not wealth that heals but love and support," he urged. "Let us come together for my mother, not for riches, but for each other." Moved by his sincerity, the villagers agreed to help. They brought food, herbs, and care, rallying around KOFI's mother. As they worked together, the spirit of community flourished, and the atmosphere shifted from fear to hope. Meanwhile, Abina watched from the shadows, her plan unraveling. The unity among the villagers transformed their energy into something powerful, something Abina could not manipulate. As days passed, KOFI's mother began to recover, nourished by the love and attention of those around her. The storm that had threatened their village became a catalyst for healing and connection, dispelling the rumors of misfortune. Finally, one morning, as KOFI sat by the river reflecting on the journey, the princess fish appeared once more. "You have proven that true power lies in the bonds we create, not in riches or greed," she said, her voice soothing like the gentle flow of water. KOFI smiled, realizing the truth in her words. "Thank you for your guidance. I understand now that love and community are the greatest treasures." With a graceful flick of her tail, the fish promised, "As long as you nurture this bond, the river will continue to bless you." KOFI returned home, where his mother was now fully recovered, and the village thrived with a spirit of generosity and support. Abina, realizing her plans had failed, eventually withdrew, but the lessons learned lingered in the hearts of all. In time, KOFI became a respected leader in the village, not for his wealth, but for his wisdom and compassion. The story of the fisherman and the princess fish spread far and wide, serving as a reminder that true riches are found in kindness, unity, and the love we share with one another. And so, KOFI's journey continued, a tale woven into the fabric of the village, a testament to the enduring power of gratitude and community. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this beautiful story, please drop a like on the video, and leave a comment on your favorite part of the story, moral lessons, character acts and so on. Also share the story with your friends and family. It's been a long way getting here, and I really appreciate all of you who endeavor to watch all the parts of my stories to the end. Thank you once again, and do subscribe to the channel so you won't miss out on our next story, and as always do have a lovely day.